What's up, YouTube? Joe Catchpolia sitting on the couch, making some money, investing in fractional real estate online, as usual. I'm just going to give you another update on my Mogul portfolio. I've had now 3 full months of dividends, um, primarily on I have three on one property. I think I've have now two on another. But I just wanted to let you know, where things stand. I think it's still really early for me with this platform. As much as I've had a lot of good things to say about them, I think that I have a long way to go before I can just wholeheartedly recommend them to everybody. Um, by the way, before I forget, please like and subscribe. In the description to this video, there are links to all the platforms that I invest on. Some of them give you free money, like Mogul does. Now, there's terms and conditions. You have to, read those and understand what you're doing. Do your own due diligence on the platform and the properties. Just because I own some of these doesn't mean you should own them. There's also a link to a Discord where we all get together and talk about some of these. But anyway, just jumping into it. So one of the things that I have noticed, it takes a little while to start getting dividends on a lot of these. So I've now invested in five. I'm getting paid on two. Some of them haven't even closed yet, I believe. And but I'm gonna jump into each one, and then I'm gonna show you. They also sent out some of their portfolio statistics. I'm gonna share those as well. So the Axelrod, this is the one I've owned the longest. We just had a partial November, full December, full January, and full February. This is that short-term rental in Houston. Because it is a short-term rental and they have daily rates, I'd expect February to be make less money than a normal month. Although this was more a bigger dip than I expected. It'll be interesting to see if that continues. I'm going to show you the math on it though. I'm still pretty happy with this one. So let's see. This is the Axelrod. February was 0.77%. If you look at what I received versus um, versus my investment. And so annualized, that's still a 9.24% cash on cash return. And so, for a bad month, the smallest month of the year, that's a fantastic cash on cash return. So I'm still very happy with this investment. This was probably the property that I was most excited about. It's the first one I bought a piece of on there. Um, and it is the one, I think, if you've watched the playlist, where I do have a playlist for this on my channel for all of the Mogul properties that I've looked at, and the ones that I've bought and the ones I haven't. Um, well, look at that. I didn't make that percent. Let's do that. So that looks good. Yeah. 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 Percent. Let's give you there. Let's do this one too. Sorry about that. Okay, but so you can see, and then if I look at the year-to-date numbers, which is just 2 months, right? I'm not doing all of these. I'm just doing 2 months, so it doesn't even pick up the Great December. Getting really close to 12% annualized, and you can already see I've got the roads underneath there too. The roads, I've just got 2 months so far. Had a really good January, not nearly as good as February. The roads is a rent by the room property, and it is charged weekly, I believe, and so it would make sense again that a shorter month you'd make less. Probably not this much less. My guess is there's some vacancy. Um, we don't get any real reporting other than just what our dividends are each month, and that's one of the things I've asked them for, and I think that they're considering doing. If you do invest on Mogul, I'd encourage you to ask them to do that as well, right? I mean, one of the reasons that I'm doing this is to get with other investors on a lot of these platforms, and for us to sort of, get together and ask for the things that we'd like to see on them. They're all new companies, most of them are. And Mogul has been really open to being able or being willing to change and adapt to the things that we're looking for. But in any case, um, based on the February dividend, I'm getting just shy of a 10% cash on cash return on that one. So that's really great. And then year to date, 12%. I think if we had just annualized last month, I think I was looking at 14. But anything right around 10% for a cash on cash return for a property that I don't do anything other than just buy this online. I mean, this is amazing. I've been really impressed with with their properties that they had. You want to do your own due diligence. It is really early still, but so far excited to share that. I do have these other three properties. None of them have a full month of operation yet, or paid out anything. I think that Johnson may not have even closed yet. I'm not certain, But it takes them a while from the time that you put your money in for them to close, get up and running, and start to pay out. That's one of the things when you start to compare this platform to some of the others, especially ones with secondary market. The big benefit, so for example, like on Lofty, when I buy on there, the very next day I collect rent for those, if it's a property that's operating. And so for these ones, you're not getting that same benefit. I think over the course of, a reasonable hold period, it's not going to impact us much at all, but it is something that I just figured I'd mention. And then, so like I said, they did send out. These are all the dividends for all the properties that paid out um, on the platform this year so far. And so you can see, I think the Logan is actually the worst one, with a year to date annualized. Although the Bowser is a strange one. I don't know about this property. I did take a look at it. It's one that I think sold out before. Um, but I think they must have just not had anyone in it last month or the month prior, or there's some turnover or something. I don't know what happened there. But this was just, I think, a long-term rental in Dallas. Um, I don't know, surprised by that, but so obviously the annualized returns for this one would be terrible, which is why they just didn't share it. But then the Logan 6.36, what is that one? Let's take a look at that one. Single family. Oh yeah. I don't think that I actually analyzed this one on a video, but it is one. I think it was sold out. A lot of these were sold out before I even found the platform. Um, they don't have any up yet that I had passed on. I don't think the Roman is this one that I reviewed and passed on. Uh, no, I don't think this is one either. So it's still early. Only time will tell. But these are really strong cash on cash returns in general. That's why I think if you've heard me mention several times, I think Mogul on average puts out the best properties when you compare them to a lot of the other sites. They tend to just really focus on having a good business plan, either short-term rental, mid-term rental, rent by the room, or something that's giving you these really strong cash on cash returns. And then, but in also in markets where I want to own properties, right? Like there's some platforms where you can find these really strong cash on cash returns, but it's because they're buying in markets where, in the long run, I don't expect the properties to do very well. So, I don't know. Overall, still very happy with how Mogul's performing. Even though February was a dip, like I said, I mean I think it's very much expected because it's a short month, but it does seem like for both of them they did a little bit worse even than I would have thought for that. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next month. Um, but that's it. Real quick video for today, just giving you the update on the Mogul portfolio. If you're investing in Mogul and you've had a different experience than I have, I'm super curious to hear it. If you own some of the older ones, please feel free to comment on that and let me know how you're doing, what you think. If it's much different from what you expected. So far, the returns that I'm getting on these are in line with what I expected to get on these. It'll I think in the next couple of months as we start to see returns on these three is when I'll start to have some real data that'll be useful. But at least so far, happy with how it's going. I really just can't complain with them as a platform. I think that they're, and obviously I don't have a ton of money in here yet. I've decided I'm just going to put a real small amount in each one that I like, because one, I think that I'll be able to buy hopefully a property or two every single month on here. And there's no secondary market yet, so if things start to go wrong, I don't want to have a big chunk of money on here that I can't liquidate. And so for at least, maybe for the next year or something, I'll just be buying little pieces of these and see how it goes. But like I said, so far, I'm really, really enjoying the site. Comparing it to, Lofty or Ground Floor or any of the other platforms that I'm on, this is the one that I think that I can um, I'm most confident telling sort of a newer investor about because I think there's a lot less opportunity to get hurt on this site. And, that's just my opinion. But I think on average, because they're really focused on picking, you know, good properties in good markets, it's not sort of the mixed bag that you find. Like I'm making really good returns on Lofty right now. You've seen some of my videos on that. But for the most part, I think that I'm picking like one out of every five properties I might buy, right? I think that most of the properties that you buy on there, excuse me, you'll be lucky if you don't lose money if you're buying, if you're buying them when they first come out. On this platform, I think it's completely the opposite, right? I think there are some that I decided not to buy, but it's the most of them I feel like you could buy and do okay with, and a lot of them I think, I mean, I don't know, the axle rod I wish I had bought more of, right? I mean, this is the first one I bought a piece of. I think it's fit, I really wish I had got more of that one. The same thing with the roads, right? I mean, I had some hesitations with the roads. I got part of it for free by buying into the axle rod, and then I bought a little bit more. Um, but so far, so good on that one. But in the short run, I'm still just experimenting like I am with all these sites, and hopefully as I get a little bit more confidence in the site itself and the way they operate, and their ability to continue pumping out the kind of returns that they're showing that they can do, I'll over time start to put a little bit more money in. But for now, I think experimenting on a property by property basis, especially as it seems like they're continuing to put out a higher and higher volume, is going to be the way to go. But in any case, that's it for today. Quick update on Mogul. Until next time, I'm going to just keep making mistakes so that you don't have to.